some real shit has gone down in the last week concerning Jack Swagger, the least of which is his DUI arrest and the pot possession, which is not really going to be that big of a deal in the long run. It may hurt his push later on. He's certainly not going to be winning the world title at WrestleMania now. He probably would have lost his spot at WrestleMania were it not for Glenn Beck. And that's kind of where we are now, is the Glenn Beck thing. For those of you who actually don't know who Glenn Beck is, I kind of wonder where you were in the last 4 years, because when Barack Obama got elected president of the United States in 2008, one of his most vocal opponents once he took office was Fox News's then kind of new shining star, the new kind of conservative pundit, the center of the Obama backlash, if you will, was this new Fox News guy named Glenn Beck. Now, Glenn Beck had been a conservative commentator for several years up to this point. In fact, I remember seeing Glenn Beck, a prominent player on Headline News, which was associated with CNN, and a friend of mine named Chris, has actually been trying to get me to regularly listen to Glenn Beck's shows since about 2004. So I've been aware of Glenn Beck for some time. I've even listened to Glenn Beck's show on occasion. I am not a fan of everything he says. In fact, I think I've pretty much made myself clear on this show that I'm something of a liberal. So, when you get the crazy right-wing stuff going, I kind of tune out. But I like to think that I'm open-minded enough to at least listen to a well-reasoned argument. And I think something that gets lost in Glenn Beck's fanaticism is that he does occasionally have some well-reasoned arguments. And he does have some good points. For being the poster boy of right-wing nut jobs, he actually has kept himself away from some of the more truly crazy right-wing conspiracy theories. He stays away from 9/11 Truth. He's spoken out about 9/11 Truth. He really has a problem with Alex Jones and how far he goes. And believe me, if you ever just need a laugh at a crazy person, find Alex Jones on YouTube. I do sometimes, and it's great. It's fucking amazing. Like, you can watch this guy, and he just goes crazy, and he's fucking... I've known about Alex Jones since probably about as long as I've known about Glenn Beck, so I've been aware of the InfoWars, and everything that you saw on Piers Morgan a couple months ago following Sandy Hook. That's nothing. I knew about that for years, and it was nice to see the mainstream media finally take a look at this guy like, wow, what a crazy fucking nut. Holy shit. In fact, I actually know people who's like, man, I sure do miss Glenn Beck right about now when they saw Alex Jones. So, Glenn Beck has come out against Alex Jones. Glenn Beck has had Penn Jillette on his show a lot. And despite Penn Jillette being a very blatant atheist, he's also a libertarian, so they share a lot of views. And, so I've known about Glenn Beck. Like I said, I don't follow his political ideology. But I'm also going to give the man credit where it's due. He is not nearly as crazy as Alex Jones. He's not nearly as crazy as the birther movement. He stayed away from the birther movement as well. He's not Orly Tates, that's who it was. I can't believe it took me forever to remember that name. So I just want you to understand, I'm not here defending Glenn Beck's views or Glenn Beck in general. The man has rightfully earned his reputation in the public eye as something of a right-wing crazy guy. He was, after all, deemed too nutty for Fox News. So I'm not here defending him, but I'm not necessarily here to completely insult him either. I'm not going to do what WWE did as blatantly. Or if I am at least not doing so on behalf of the professional wrestling industry. I'm doing so on behalf of myself, and only myself. If I go out and call Glenn Beck a complete fucking moron. And I say this because WWE released a video sort of challenging Glenn Beck, if you will, by having Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger break character. And kind of piece by piece dress Glenn Beck down as they explain to him, like a 4-year-old, that wrestling is entertainment. In fact, I'll play the clip.
Hey, Glenn Beck. What you just saw is what we call a promo. It's a scene we record to elicit a positive or negative reaction from our fans. See, we are entertainers.
My name is Jake Hager.
And I'm Wayne Cowan. We are performers for WWE. Zeb Coulter is the character I play. Jack Swagger is the character Jake plays. We aren't in the political business or the immigration business. We are in the entertainment business. Everything we do as our characters is designed to tell stories. Right now, the story we're telling is that Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger are using the current, relevant, and topical story of immigration to target the WWE World Champion Alberto Del Rio. Also a character played by my friend Jose Rodriguez. In our story, we are the antagonist, and Alberto is the protagonist. Glenn Beck, you recently referred to WWE as stupid wrestling people.
Okay, I kind of need to cut off here. I have the clip. I have the clip. Glenn Beck and his comments on the WWE and the Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger thing. In fact, I'm going to play it for you. Here it is.
Okay, so the WWE actually at this point has me rooting for the WWF. And I hate the World Wildlife Foundation or Federation or whatever the hell it is. They hate the panda people. Here, and it's hard to hate panda people, isn't it? Well,
not in this case, no.
Not in this case.
No.
The WWE now has put a new character out that is demonizing the Tea Party. You know, Linda McMahon, I'm sorry you didn't win. We should have seen how your true colors early on. And I think we did. Didn't we worry about Linda McMahon? Because she's one of these, oh my gosh, did I almost say neocon? She's neocons.
Neoconism. Practicing her neoconistic ways.
Yeah, she's just one of these progressive Republicans. We worried about
Connecticut Republican.
Yeah, which is like,
I mean, what do you expect?
Texas liberal.
Probably better than the person they elected by 3 or 4%.
Right.
That's about it.
Okay, so now we know how she really feels and how the WWE really feels. And we've decided before we went on the air today that none of us are qualified to speak on this subject because all of us avoid the WWE like the plague. I don't find it entertaining. Pat had a very scarring experience with his father.
My dad believed it was real.
Mm-hmm. And Pat used to argue with his father.
No, Dad, it's not real.
Now, his father did have Alzheimer's and a drinking problem, and the combination between the two was not good.
That could have helped convince him.
Yeah.
Extenuating circumstances.
Right. Stu did just a quick monologue for me this morning on what when you're watching. You remember what you did?
What did I do?
When he's watching television, they're like, this stupid wrestler is going to take on this stupid wrestler. He said he turns the channel, and Jeffy, of course, is Jeffy. And, of course, he loves it. He loves
He's a
it.
huge
So
fan, yeah.
none of us are qualified because we don't like it, and the other one is Jeffy. So what we thought is we should ask you, present the evidence, and then if you like, and only if you like, WWE, should you call in and talk to us about this? But I think the WWE has... I can take it from a lot of people. I really can. I can't take it from the stupid wrestling people. Especially since a lot of the people, I would imagine, that a lot of the people that watch wrestling are not New York elites. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly who they're trying to appeal here. Who are they appealing to?
Wouldn't the argument be, at least one of the arguments would be, okay, they're trying to create villains. They do this all the time. They're trying to create a villain. Like, when I was a kid, I remember, the Iron Sheik. And the Iron Sheik was from, I think, Iran, and he was always saying terrible things about America. Now, that didn't mean the WWF at the time didn't like America. They were trying to make a villain out of the Iron Sheik, right? But this is different. It seems that the villain, the guy you're supposed to hate, is this stereotype of a conservative that I've never met.
The problem with this is that you are, a bunch of sheiks were not watching WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're making a villain. You're making a villain out of what? Probably 80% of your audience who's tired as it is of being miscast.
You're also using a natural enemy of the United States. Iran was and is an enemy of the United States.
Right. The Tea Party is not.
Tea Party
Racists are an enemy of the United States, but he's tying that in. Look, if a guy got up and he was like, I'm a racist and I want all these people cleaned up and, whatever. All of a sudden you have Mr. Margaret Sanger Man. Okay, you could sell that. You could sell that. But you can't, you have Mr. Planned Parenthood comes up. And I just want to execute all the races, but I want to do it subtly and use the churches to do it. Yes, you could sell that. But you're coming against something and maybe I'm wrong. And I'd love to hear from anybody who watches the WWE. I'm sick and tired of being miscast. I am sick and tired of it. It is lazy at best. And I certainly am not going to give any more time or my money to any organization that is miscasting, is making it harder for me and my family to stand up for what I believe in. You're mocking me for standing up for the Constitution of the United States of America. You're mocking me for standing up for law and order, equal justice under the law, equal justice. I've been that my whole life. You're mocking me for standing up for the same principles and values that Martin Luther King stood up for? I don't think so. In my own camp? No, I don't think so. Get the hell out. I have no time, and I will. We've talked about this for a while. Put your money where your heart is. This isn't some, I really like the Cape style house. This is something I care about deeply. This isn't about a car that I drive or a kind of house that I like or a clothing brand. It is something I care about, my country and the Constitution and man's freedom. Look how many people have done things that they've never, ever done before. Look how much time they've spent with their family, how they've educated, and you're going to be mocked by people you think are friendly to you? No way. No way.
So that's the deal right there. The whole clip that I found on YouTube of Glenn Beck trashing WWE. Rightfully or wrongfully so, Glenn Beck offering his opinions on WWE. Now we go back to Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter's response.
Glenn Beck, you recently referred to WWE as stupid wrestling people.
Yep, One line stuck in the WWE's craw. Let me go play it for you again.
You know, I can take it from a lot of people. I really can. I can't take it from the stupid wrestling people.
There it is. That's the comment that got stuck in WWE's craw. Let's continue.
By implication, you are referring to the 14 million stupid wrestling fans who are watching our shows every week in America and our global audience in over 145 countries.
No, he really isn't. He said that you were stupid wrestling people. WWE were the stupid wrestling people. Because WWE puts out a stupid product. Stupid wrestling people doing stupid wrestling shit. That's what Glenn Beck's talking about. The public perception of WWE and their stupid fucking show.
20% of our audience is Hispanic, 22% is African American, 35% is female, and we equally reach all major age groups, including 25% over the age of 50.
Okay, so we have WWE figuratively jacking off to themselves again.
Being in the television business, Glenn, you should know the popularity of Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw has been on the air for over 20 years and is the #1 show on USA Network. We have about 60 characters on our show, a lot more than, say, NCIS or Glee, but we're not that much different. Some of our characters are really likable and some are detestable, good guys and bad guys. We don't use guns and we don't depict murder or rape, typically seen on primetime dramas. Our program is PG. We look forward to continuing to tell provocative, funny, dramatic, and sometimes controversial stories with characters of all backgrounds and beliefs.
Especially dancing fat guys.
Many of your followers are WWE fans, and they understand the difference between reality and entertainment.
Really? We're figuratively challenging the size of Glenn Beck's dick now, WWE?
Are you out of touch with your audience, Glenn?
God damn it.
Or are you just a stupid political commentator?
Yeah, because you're really going to change the public perception of professional wrestling by insulting a man.
Mr. Beck, we cordially invite you to Monday Night Raw in Dallas at the American Airlines Center this Monday, where you can deliver a 5-minute, unedited rebuttal to our global TV audience and a sold-out crowd of 12,000 stupid wrestling fans.
So there you go, folks. WWE taking the high road, if you will. Yeah, the high road, my ass. WWE doing what it normally does. You know, calling taking offense to being called stupid and responding with,
Well, you're Dummyhead, Dummyhead. Why don't you come over to my sandbox and say it to my face, Dummyhead?
and lo and behold, Glenn Beck actually does resemble something of an adult here. He decides not to come to Monday Night Raw and be humiliated on national TV by a bunch of fucking children. But no, that's not enough for WWE. No. No, they decide instead to send Michael Cole over to the Blaze Studios in order to ambush Glenn Beck for an interview.
We are at the studios at Los Colinas in Irving, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Mr. Beck apparently said that he was booked doing anything else. That was his quote, booked doing anything else. You think that if Mr. Beck had such inflammatory comments to say about our product, that he would be willing to come out here and at least do a one-on-one interview with me as opposed to getting in front of 12,000 people tonight in Dallas, but we'll have to wait and see if he's actually going to take us up on this offer.
He called you stupid. All of this because Glenn Beck, Mr. 912, crying on camera because he loves his country, said you were stupid. The fuck?
What I find it hard to believe is that a man with such outspoken views, it is extremely difficult to get this man to come out and talk about those views with us. Security came down, asked us to leave. We refused to.
Okay. Michael Moore does this bullshit. Michael Moore did this bullshit a lot, especially in his first movie, Roger and Me. He does this bullshit a lot, and it pisses me off when I see him do it. Because it's so unprofessional, and it's so wrong, and it's very manipulative. It's when you are unable to get an interview with someone through the proper channels. You can't schedule an interview with somebody. Either because they refuse to talk to you, which is their right. They don't have to talk to you. You are not the press. And Michael Cole, he may have been a war correspondent once in his life, but he is not the press. He is representing WWE, which is not a news organization. You are not owed a comment. You are not owed an interview. You don't have the right to any information from this guy whatsoever. This man does not have to give you the time of day. You're not the news. You're not a journalist. You're not looking for facts. You are just trying to humiliate this man on television. So you can't get this guy to come to your show. He's not going to give you the time of day because he's an adult and he's smart enough to stay the fuck out of this. Amazing to say I'm saying this about Glenn Beck, but I'm saying it. And instead of being professional and just letting the issue go, you send Michael Cole to do this Michael Moore bullshit where he ambushes the studio, the Blaze Studios in Las Colinas. Okay? Dixie Carter's little hometown. My God. I am a truly sad individual. I know this. Las Colinas. In fact, that's where she met Jeff Jarrett in an apartment complex in fucking Las Colinas, Texas. So here we are, WWE invading the Blaze Studios in Las Colinas, Texas, because they can't get Glenn Beck to come to Raw. So no, we want to publicly humiliate this guy because, after all, he dared to call us stupid. So instead of being professional and just letting it go and trying to rise above and being the better people and actually trying to do some goodwill to your public image, accepting the fact that Glenn Beck simply isn't a fan, he thinks that you're stupid, and he thinks that you're insulting him. So, no, he's not going to give you the time of day in order to insult him even more. Yet, here you are, you're coming down to the Blaze Studios, and because he's an adult and doesn't want to be insulted by you on national television to placate your ego, you're going to go and try to make it so Glenn Beck refuses to talk to us. Glenn Beck's trying to hide something from us. Glenn Beck this and Glenn Beck that. Glenn Beck is scared of the WWE universe and all that other bullshit. You know, I hate it when Michael Moore does this. I hate it when Michael Moore invades the fucking GM plant trying to get an interview with the CEO. He does this a lot. He did it in Roger and Me a lot. He even tried it one more time in his last movie, the capitalism movie. But I think that a lot of what he does is deceptive, and that's very deceptive, and it's very manipulative, and it's supposed to trick your audience into believing that he's a journalist fighting for a good cause. So we have Michael Cole doing the same bullshit. You know, hey, we're the good guys here because this Glenn Beck guy won't give us an interview. Glenn Beck doesn't owe you an interview. He doesn't owe you a comment. He doesn't owe you shit. He was insulted by something you did and said so on the air and called you stupid. Because, guess what? The public perception of your company is that you're childish, petty, and stupid. And how do you respond by that? By being childish, petty, and stupid.
The owner came down of the studio, asked us to leave. Can we quote you?
This is me. This is my studio.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, you're not welcome here.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd like you to leave.
Okay. Now, is there?
And I also have signs posted saying there's no filming on the property. So I need you to leave.
Okay, great. Okay. So how do we reach Mr. Beck if we want to try to
call his office in New York City?
Great.
Thank you.
You know, the best part of this is that ending right there, and I hope you were paying attention in that last bit of clip. That's why I finished playing the clip, because it's important to note that WWE was filming on this property illegally, without a permit, where there are clearly signs posted that they're not allowed to film on private property. They are on private property. And they still broadcast this on television, and they still put this up on YouTube. I swear to God, I honestly hope the Blaze sues them. I honestly hope that the Blaze Studios and Glenn Beck in particular sues them for this. And I know that would mean that Glenn Beck isn't being an adult and whatever. Maybe he should let this go. No, I think that WWE needs to be spanked for this. And not necessarily in the court of public opinion, because Vince McMahon does not care what I think. He doesn't care what you think. But you know what? Maybe if the American government spanks him for his illegal activity in this moment, for trespassing and illegally showing footage that they illegally shot on private property, yeah, I think maybe he'll learn something about being mature, letting shit go, and maybe do something about, fucking hell. Grow up. Grow the fuck up. Okay? You put out a childish and stupid product. It's childish and stupid. Watch your fucking show and tell me how it's not childish and stupid. Someone goes on the air and calls it childish and stupid. You get your panties all in a bunch.
How dare you call me childish and stupid? We're like NCIS and Glee and all those other important shows that aren't childish and fucking stupid. You're a dummyhead.
I'm sick and fucking tired of it. I'm sick and fucking tired of this business not fucking respecting itself. And I'm sick and tired of, I'm going to say it, you people who defend this.